This is Jay from Generation Geek, and today we have a most powerful feat list for no other than the Merc with the mouth, Deadpool. Now, as we all know, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out very soon, so I thought it'd be cool to look at a most powerful feat list with no other than the Merc with the mouth. As always, if you guys are new here, please like, share, subscribe, and join the Geek fam. We'll love to have you. Now, we're going to get some of the basics out of the way. We all know that Deadpool is one of the most accomplished assassins in all of Marvel Comics. Like, literally, there are scans of him literally fighting some of the top tier assassins in all of Marvel. Characters like Crossbones, Death Adder, Boomerang, Scorpion, so many assassins. Of course, some of these are like obviously B to C tier, list villains, but we're talking about regular human characters that literally challenge some of Marvel's most powerful heroes. So yes, even though they may be weak compared to the heroes that we're all used to, if they were in real life, they would be very dangerous and serious threats. And Deadpool, I believe, was fighting Belladonna. She had hired all these assassins, and he literally took all of them out one by one, all by himself. And we're talking again some of the most accomplished assassins, with obviously Crossbones being one of the top 10 most accomplished assassins, along with like Deadpool, Taskmaster, Bullseye, characters of that ilk. And Deadpool was literally able to take out, even destroy some of them. I mean, literally eliminate Death Adder and literally end up taking out Belladonna at the end himself, simply because she didn't hire him first. He said, I could have been the only assassin you needed, but you decided to get these other bozos. So, yep, now I got to take you out. Now I can't get my island and I can't be rich. But he did it anyway. And she tried to, go back on. It's like, oh, we can make it work. And he's like, nah, I don't think so. So, of course, Deadpool is one of the most accomplished assassins and combatants in all of Marvel Comics. And if you don't believe that, just look at his track history. Again, he's been able to go toe-to-toe with Taskmaster, Bullseye, Hawkeye, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Black Panther. I mean, some of the top tier, most lethal combatants. When it just comes to hand-to-hand combat, he was able to go toe-to-toe, even beat some of them, beat most of them, or at least fight to a standstill with so many of them. Obviously, all of his battles with Wolverine are iconic. They literally tear each other apart, literally just cutting each other to pieces. Even Sabretooth, him and Sabretooth even fought to a standstill once before. Literally, Deadpool's fought against some of the most accomplished combatants and assassins in all of Marvel. So now that we got the fighting part of the way, I believe that the most powerful part of Deadpool is literally his healing factor. And people sleep on it. It's like, okay, just a healing factor. It's not like optic beams or controlling ice or any type of a mega level ability. But the things that he's able to do with his healing factor is super impressive. Many people don't know is that Deadpool's healing factor is not his mutant ability. His healing factor was distinctively created to combat the cancer in which he had when he went under the Weapon X program to make him into a super soldier. So people think it's just healing factor. No, his healing factor was putting him to design to fight against that cancer. So what it does is it regrows the cells that the cancer attacks, which is why it's one of his most underrated abilities. Like, yeah, we see him heal all the time and stuff like that because he just goes in reckless, taking bullets, and getting cut and things like that. But when it actually comes against going other powerful beings, it's his greatest tool. For instance, he went against Absorbing Man. Now, we know Absorbing Man is not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is by far one of the most powerful characters in all of Marvel. He has some of the highest potential because, one, he got his power from Asgardian magic, and two, his ability to absorb any object or power that he comes in contact with. So yes, Absorbing Man has been able to absorb the power of a cosmic cube, Sentry in the Void, and Odin's power himself. He's been able to absorb some of the most powerful beings and objects in all of Marvel and use the power efficiently enough to be a threat to the entire world or universe or galaxy. Absorbing Man is that level of a threat. But when he fights Deadpool, he tries to take his healing factor, but what comes with the healing factor also comes the cancer. And when taking the power from Deadpool, he gets all, the cancerous scars and stuff on his body. He's like, what the heck is this? And Deadpool's like, well, I hope you got the healing factor because you can't have one without the other. So along with my healing also comes the cancer. You have to deal with that as well. And if it wasn't just him, so this wasn't a one-off thing, even the freaking Super Adaptoid, who was a artificial being, was literally taking out the entire Avengers team. And of course, we've seen that Super Adaptoid take on a whole bunch of Avengers team, but this one in particular had beings like Spider-Man, Synapse, Dr. Voodoo, all of these beings and Super Adaptoid is literally taking them all out. And then you have Deadpool, who literally just reveals some of his skin, literally backhands the back of the Super Adaptoid, giving it its power. Super recklessly, Spider-Man at it, but he gives the being its power, and it's like, oh, I'm Deadpool now, and it just freaking falls over because it absorbs his cancer along with the healing factor and just completely takes out the freaking Super Adaptoid. Now, we've seen this thing go against all types of Avengers, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Vision, Wonder Man, all these different Avengers. We've seen the Super Adaptoid give the Avengers so many problems, even Sentry, because of his ability to take the power of all the heroes that it faces. But nope, all you ever needed was Deadpool just to touch it, and it just gets knocked out. And then, of course, there was the big Skrull invasion, in which all the Skrulls have been obviously over the years taking all the DNA of all these superheroes and replacing them. And they tried the same thing with Deadpool, and it did not go in their favor. So again, like I said, Deadpool's healing factor was created specifically for him to combat his cancer. So when you take this healing factor that was designed specifically for him and you put him in these healthy Super Skrulls, of course, it's not going to go as expected. They take Deadpool's DNA and see all these mutated and deformed Super Skrulls that were regular Deadpool replacements before, but of course, as they got his healing factor, and of course they had no cancer to combat, it completely just turned them into these nasty, moldy, exploding monsters, and they all perished. And of course, he ends up taking out this scientist in the end. But there was something still even more impressive than Deadpool's healing factor, and it kind of plays a part into it, but it's something that's kind of different. Is literally his brain and his mind. So as it's revealed by Cable, is that not only does Deadpool's healing factor affect his body, but it also affects his mind. His mind is constantly, healing and changing and trying to adapt to the cancer and all these other things as well. Along with the Weapon X training comes an incredible amount of resistance that he has to so many different things. So for instance, Dracula's famous hypnotism, unaffected by it. Can't do anything to it. Literally, Dracula tries to hypnotize Deadpool and make him fire upon himself, and he just doesn't. He's like, no, I thought we were over here, doing some type of, role play type of thing. Like literally, Dracula's hypnotism that has controlled so many other powerful beings and mutants and things like that has no effect on Deadpool. Or even something as impressive as the techno-organic virus. Yes, the same virus that's connected to Cable and Apocalypse, the same reason why Cable is not like Nate Gray and can't use his Omega level potential. And like we said before in one of our top 10 videos, Nate Gray is one of the top 3, maybe top 2 most powerful mutants that have ever existed, along with Legion and Franklin Richards, if Franklin is still to be considered a mutant again, which I think that he is. The reason that he cannot access that level of power as Nate Gray is simply because his Omega level telepathy is always fighting against the techno-organic virus. Now, this same virus tried to assimilate Deadpool, and Deadpool was basically like a tumor to it, and he literally just kicked it out of his body. The hive mind tried to assimilate him, and Deadpool was like, nah, and just kicks the entire virus out of his body. And his mind is so jumbled and all over the place that even some of the most powerful telepaths in the Marvel Universe, so Emma Frost, Cable, even the brain of Professor X cannot control Deadpool. Literally, in the Axis event, in which Red Skull had Professor Xavier's brain, he literally could not control Deadpool, simply because he can't read his mind, he can't control it, and his brain is just all over the place. So when it comes to things like telepathy and being controlled, can't do it. Only thing that can make Deadpool do the things that he does not want to do are literally the other voices in his brain. And speaking of that, he has a being inside of him called Madcap, and this also goes along with his healing feats. Literally, Deadpool and Madcap are doing their thing, they have the little robbery or whatever, and literally Thor comes up to them, literally strikes them both down with lightning, turning them both to ash. Deadpool, for one, literally regenerates in over a day, but also in that time, he takes in the persona of Madcap as well in his mind. He becomes another voice within Deadpool's head.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What's up, guys? This is Jay. As you guys know, we love making content for you guys, but as we're starting to notice, many of you are watching, but many of you are not subbing. So why not join the Geek fam? Come rock with us. Just hit that sub button, hit the bell. We'll love to have you. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
But the most impressive thing about this is that we literally have seen Deadpool literally regenerate from ashes, like literally dust. Like if there's any particle left of Deadpool, he can regenerate from that. And we haven't even seen that from Wolverine. We've seen Wolverine been turned to a skeleton. We've seen Wolverine lose oxygen. And we've seen, Wolverine expire. We've literally seen him die. But nope, not Deadpool. There's nothing. This man has been almost atomized and has been able to come back from literal nothingness. He was even banned from death at one point because Thanos put a curse on him so that he cannot be with Lady Death. Literally, so many things that have tried to take out Deadpool that you was like, there's no way he can survive that. He's literally been able to come back from. This man literally was able to regenerate from staring into a hole in reality. Literally, he looked into this box and it had a hole in reality and it literally destroyed his mind. And then moments later, he just regenerated. That's another thing. Deadpool can also concentrate and control his healing factor, in which it can go into overdrive and work faster if he gives focus to it. He can even regrow back memories, even though it does take a while. Even Wolverine couldn't do that. It took Wolverine how long for him to get some of his memories back and learn about his past? Nope. Deadpool can really focus on it and grow his memories back. And of course, we got the fourth wall breaking stuff that puts Deadpool on a tear all on his own. He's obviously cognizant that he's within a comic book, but he's been able to affect things like media, social media, comic books, even the artist himself. So he can almost control his own story if he really wanted to, as the writers have created him to be. But what do you guys think? That is my list. Of course, if you guys have any comments or interest in what you'd like to see me do a top tier feats list on, leave it in the comments below. And as always, if you guys are new here, please like, share, and subscribe, and join the Geek fam. We'll love to have you. I have been Jay from Generation Geek. Y'all be blessed and peace.